You have known the stillness of fulfillment, that quiet inward release that tells you the act is complete. And yet the moment the inner work is done, many find their outer world beginning to shake. The very day you feel the end as real, circumstances may rise that look like loss, confusion, or collapse, and you wonder if something within you has gone astray. You ask, how can this be? Why would everything fall apart after I have finally touched the promise? Tonight, I tell you, do not fear these early tremors. They are not the signs of failure. They are the signs of movement. The old state, once deprived of your attention, begins to crumble, and its crumbling is always loud. What you call chaos is often nothing more than the echo of a world you no longer occupy. It is the last cry of an identity that has lost its claim upon you. If the ground beneath you seems to shift, if doors close abruptly or familiar structures begin to loosen, take this as evidence that the unseen work is already underway. For every fulfilled end must rearrange the path that leads to it, and the rearrangement is seldom quiet. Let us lift the veil from this strange interval, and you will see why the very moment things appear to worsen, they are, in truth, aligning. But to see this alignment, you must first understand the echo of the state you have left. There is a truth that comforts the heart once it is seen. The world you behold with your senses does not change in the things your inner act is performed. It carries within it the momentum of the state you once occupied, the echo of the man you have outgrown. And like every echo, it lingers for a moment before dissolving into silence. Imagine a great fan turning with steady force. If you were to remove the power from it this very moment, it would not halt at once. The blades would continue to spin slower and slower, not because they still possess life, but because they are surrendering the life they once had. So it is with the former state. When you withdraw your attention from it, its movement does not cease immediately. It must unwind, and this unwinding is often mistaken for opposition. People see the motions of a dying state and believe the new has failed to rise, yet nothing could be further from the truth. The very disturbance you witness is proof that the power which once sustained that old world has been removed. You have turned the inner switch. You have withdrawn belief from what was. Now the outer must follow, and in following, it may sway, tremble, or shed its former shape. Do not misread these motions. They are not hostile. They are obedient. The old must complete its final rotation before the new can stand revealed. And as the old rotates into silence, an unseen path begins to form beneath your feet. As the former state sinks into silence, life begins to stir in ways no reason could predict, yet every motion answers perfectly to the state you now occupy. I have often spoken of this as the bridge of incidents, the ordered series of outer events by which you are brought from the old position to the fulfillment of the new. You do not design this bridge with your intellect, for it forms itself in harmony with the imaginal act you have already performed. You do not select its steps, nor do you arrange its order. Once you have accepted the end is real, the path to that end is set in motion, and life begins to move you along it. Sometimes the passage appears gentle, almost unnoticed. At other times, it seems fierce, for when a new structure is decreed, the old must make way. No one expects a frail and leaning house to stand untouched when a finer dwelling is to rise upon the same ground. Imagine a home long occupied, with beams weakened by years and walls that no longer stand true. If a wise builder intends to raise a better house upon that very spot, he begins not with ornament, but with removal. Dust fills the air, boards fall, and the sound of tearing and hammering shakes the place. Yet every stroke serves the unseen plan. So it is when you assume a higher state. The disturbance you witness is not rebellion. It is obedience to the new pattern you have accepted. This bridge seldom appears noble to the senses. It may come as endings, separations, the closing of doors you thought you needed, the sudden rearrangement of persons and conditions you once called secure. Do not confuse the appearance with the reality. These motions do not announce the death of your desire. They announce the death of what can no longer contain it. You have asked for a greater dwelling, and life is now clearing the ground on which it will stand. Yet it is here, amidst the dust of the new construction, that most aspirants lose their way. Many falter at this point. They behold the dust, hear the noise, feel the stir of things once firm beginning to shift, and they rush to save what should be allowed to fall. They think the work is failing, when in truth the work is succeeding with great speed. Stop. Do not touch it. Do not label the motion as loss. Do not attempt to gather the pieces and hold them in their former place. The moment you do, you return to the state that produced the very thing now being removed. Leave it. Let the disturbance be. Do not call it danger. Do not call it delay. Every name you give it is an invitation to revive the old man, and the old man has no place in the fulfillment you have chosen. Do not argue with appearances. Do not correct them. Do not ask why they come. They come because the end is already accepted. They come because the structure that once supported your former life is no longer authorized to stand. Let it fall. Do not seek reassurance from the world. The world cannot reassure you, for it is the thing being rearranged. Look not to the shadow for comfort. Hold instead to the light that cast it. When the phone rings with unwelcome news, be still. When someone withdraws, do not chase. When conditions tighten, do not interpret them as signs of failure. The bridge is moving swiftly and you are being carried across it. Say within yourself, do not touch, do not fix, do not label. Stand where you are, remain in the end. Let the dust rise, let the beams fall. They are falling only because something stronger has already been declared. Hold your position. The moment you intervene, you deny the power that has already acted. The moment you judge the scene, you step back into the unfinished man. Refuse that posture. Refuse that old vision. Let the new house rise upon clear ground. As you move through this seeming disorder, you must adopt a certain posture. I call it brazen impudence. This is not aggression, nor is it a struggle against the facts. It is the serene audacity that looks upon the evidence of the senses and denies its authority, not by arguing with it, but by ignoring it completely. For the fact will speak loudly. It will declare, you have failed. It will parade its figures, its warnings, its contradictions before you. And in that moment, you must decide whom you will obey. The echo of the state you have left, or the reality of the end you now occupy. The attitude required is simple. Choose the end without apology. Stand before the circumstance and let it bark. Let it unfold its drama, its noise, its urgency. Then turn your back on it. Refuse to bow to what no longer belongs to you. Refuse to explain yourself. Refuse to negotiate with appearances. Consider Daniel in the lion's den. The lions were there. Their breath was upon him. Their presence was undeniable, yet he granted them no power. He did not fight. He did not plead. He simply gave his attention to God, and the lions fell silent. So when the bill arrives, remain unmoved. When someone withdraws, remain unmoved. When the world presents its harsh verdict, remain brazenly unmoved. You do not deny the scene exists. You deny its right to dictate your future. Maintain that posture. The bridge may tremble beneath your feet, but the destination is fixed. The facts will yield. They must. They cannot withstand the presence of one who holds to the end with a confidence that borders on scandal. At last, the noise begins to fade, not because the world has changed first, but because you have. The tremors lose their meaning. The debris loses its threat. You walk through the same scenes with an entirely different center, and the world, sensing this new posture, quietly begins to reorder itself. I tell you, the bridge is sure. What appears as chaos is only the last resistance of a structure that cannot contain the life you now carry. The old must fall so the new may stand. Do not measure the hour. Do not ask how many steps remain. The end you have chosen is already here, pressing itself upon the surface of your days. Rest, then, in this quiet certainty, not the rest of resignation, but the rest of fulfillment. Walk gently, speak little, and return again and again to the inner completion. For the one within you does not begin a work, he does not finish, and the bridge, whatever its appearance, unfailingly delivers you to the state you have assumed. Hold to this assurance. Let the morning meet you in confidence. Let the evening find you in peace. The end is yours, and every event that rises only carries you more swiftly toward it. Now, let us go into the silence.